hate puppies. It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Hope you all have had a good week. I know I've slowly recovered from the golf trip, thank God.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that. And hear it, because y'all recorded down there, right?
We did, and it was...
the entire weekend.
yeah, the entire time. I had to edit it down from 3 days to an hour and 20 minutes. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
That song's terrible.
The background song?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Unfortunately...
Terrible human wrote that.
I was able to get my hands on that from a good buddy of mine, so you're dogging a friend of mine's music.
Good thing he's handsome.
Actually, I've never heard that compliment. Usually people like his music. I've never seen anyone call him handsome. So that's
Didn't know that voice would come out of that ugly fella.
So Taylor, welcome aboard, man.
Thank
We got
you.
Taylor Carson here,
Thank
who,
you.
as the listeners know, is the man who wrote our intro music, and for that we thank you.
Yes.
But
You're
this
welcome.
is the first time you've heard the bastardized version on the headphones
Bills in the mail.
in the studio.
I hope we haven't besmirched your lovely tune by speaking over it.
It made it better.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's a great song.
Self-deprecation is my middle name.
There we go.
I absolutely love the song, and as soon as we started looking for an intro song, I was like, actually, I know the background that I want to play, and I went and got it. Now, I don't know, you probably can notice that has been cut up,
Yeah.
and snipped around, and
Yeah, that's cool.
because beats probably aren't where they should be at certain points because
It works.
I
I
took
like
it-
the I don't like puppies part.
That's Ely.
I hate puppies.
yeah, I always thought that Ely was just a curmudgeon because of that. I hate puppies too.
Yeah.
The audio dreamboat.
I have
That's me. That's me. Brendan hates that name.
But
well,
he's jealous.
Yeah, he is.
yeah, that's the emotion. I'm willing to go with that.
jealous.
Now, Taylor, can you play and sing this song? Because we mentioned pre-show you have a song that you don't know how to play, and one of my favorite songs of yours, it actually came up in my Facebook feed the other day, and I shared it a couple years ago, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I need to remember how to play that, the solving puzzles song." So do you forget
really
a lot
tough.
of songs?
Yeah,
And-
yeah. I would say I've forgotten how to play entire records.
I mean,
Blows
not,
my mind.
as not a musician, that seems insane to me that someone can write, play, sing, do all the above, and then it's just gone away.
That one is very much not straightforward. It's in an alternate tuning,
Okay.
which for that record, I think it's
Obvious.
Yeah,
off of-
I
yeah.
didn't think. Yeah,
When
explain
I
to
heard it,
everyone else.
I was like, the sharps are flat and the flats are
Yeah.
sharp. Weird.
You just tune the strings differently to make it that as if like when you strum it
yeah.
openly, it's a chord.
Okay.
And then if you move the capo around and start the capo's thing, you clamp down.
I am aware, but
And then
for
you
the-
start doing different shapes. You can get more like of a resonating sound.
Gotcha.
And then you may be playing like an A major, like a G, D or something, but you're doing it in a different voicing, so it makes you write differently because you don't know really what you're doing.
So
It's like back to when I first started writing music. I didn't know what I was doing.
Isn't this how Dave Matthews always operated? Like he always screws
He was
with
a
everything.
studio, right? Like he would, which blows my mind. Like well, now I get it, but he was.
I remember 16-year-old you was blown away by how the different sounds he was making.
He's a ridiculous guitar player.
Yeah.
I have an interesting story.
Thank God.
so
We
back
need to
to-
do an hour and 20
So
minutes.
back to
of this.
solving puzzles before you go to your story. You can't pick a guitar up and just play that song right now.
I'd be able to figure it out
Okay.
if you gave me 10 minutes.
All right. That's just.
But I don't
always-
have 10 minutes.
But we'd have to play it for you.
I would.
You're like an idiot savant just with your own music now.
I'm just an idiot.
Yeah. I like savant. It
Okay.
helps.
And
No,
actually,
it's just-
the video you posted years ago that I really liked, the version you had a violinist sitting in
Yeah,
with you,
'cause
and
we
that
had
was a beautiful.
I had to play it. I was asked to play it at a wedding.
Oh, nice! How'd that go over?
I don't
Awesome.
remember.
Are they still married?
They're still married. Yeah, actually, they came to a show in the wintertime
Nice.
and talked about that song. And it was great.
They said, "Can you play our song?" He said, "No,
No.
I don't even know what song you're
Sometimes
talking
I'll go
about.
on like Facebook Live and people will request
Yeah, I saw you've been
tunes,
doing
and I'm like,
that.
I don't know how to play that anymore.
That's crazy.
But Solving Puzzles is probably in my top 3 songs that I've ever written.
Oh, really?
I love that song because
That's
it's
a great
about.
song.
I remember my wife was pregnant.
Yep.
And so the line's like, "You're looking worn down,
Yep.
torn and tired, thinking about letting go and throwing in the towel. Baby, you just need some sleep."
Yeah, I think last time we talked about that song, you had said like you walked in and she was dealing with your daughter at the time who was a newborn, and you
She wasn't even born
Oh, wasn't
yet.
even before that? Okay.
Yeah.
that,
So-
that parasite was still very much
Yeah.
inside."
So I look at songwriting as solving a puzzle. So she was going up and going to bed, and I was like, all right. And I looked at her, and I was like, all right, I'll be here solving puzzles.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. And oftentimes someone will say something, or I'll say something, and then right now I'm working on a lot of songs, like daily. I'm trying to write a song every single day.
That's crazy.
I wake up, I wake up 7:30, internal alarm clock. My daughter eats her, as she calls, Opa meal in front of Masha the bear.
Oh, dude, Masha's not a bad show.
It's all right.
I have not seen that one.
That kid's always doing something crazy, and that damn bear is so gentle, just tolerates.
It's beating
so
Barbie
much.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Barbie, did you know Ken's last name is Carson?
Ken Carson.
Ken Carson. Ken of
Actually-
Ken and Barbie is Ken Carson.
What's Barbie's last name?
Carson now.
No,
If
because
she's an honest woman.
I don't think she's an honest woman, and they've been sleeping together in beds all over the
Oh,
U.S.
yeah.
With no private parts.
No problem. That's a Carson. You set that one up. I was like, should I spike it?
I don't actually have a daughter because my privates are made of plastic.
My wife has one of those too.
Yeah.
So oftentimes you just hear that. I generally, I used to carry around a pad. Now it's just like notes in my
in the phone.
Yeah, and then so I look at songs as solving a puzzle. Like, so the lyric is like, I'll be here spending time solving puzzles.
Yeah.
Underneath the moonlight sky. Something. I don't even remember what the lyric is. But
It's a damn good song, but you put it in your top 3, so now I've got to ask, what's your favorite song? Actually, I bet I know the answer to this.
I think Josephine's a really good song.
That was going to be
Yeah.
the one that I thought was.
because that was like,
That's off the latest album.
yeah.
So that's after the Tamer is
After the
gone.
Tamer has gone.
That's what I said.
You said
booby trap.
is.
I said booby trap.
That one, and I don't know 3. I think
You've got to love Moonshiner.
Moonshiner's not there for me.
Oh, really?
I like it.
Which is crazy because to me, I love that song.
People
Yeah,
love
that
that
one-
record, and I do as well. I think in terms of like working on a tune, working really hard on a tune, I worked really hard on Josephine. I had the name Josephine stuck in my head for 2 weeks. I didn't know what that was. I don't know a Josephine. So I picked up a guitar, as I do, and I was like, all right. I just started messing around. I came up with that, like, to me, what is a part I'm very proud of. And I was like, that kind of sounds like a Josephine. And so I was like, who is she? And then I was like, maybe she's a girl I meet in a bar. And then I'm like, you're married and you don't drink, so you're lying right away. And I was like, that's not cool. So then
you
I
just gone
started
like, we met in space. You know, like,
it could, but that's the beautiful thing. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to solve this puzzle?
yeah.
And then so I eventually came up with the idea that she's like a Southern girl who leaves her small town, like chasing bright lights and marquees and wanted to be a star. But rather than like bailing on her life, she had the support of her family. They knew someday she just needed to get out of this small town. And
I'm not going to put that as my number 1, but it's the best song on that album. I think that song
for sure.
speaks to me in a way that
I believe in you as well. in my mind.
when I heard that song, Josephine, I was like,
I probably sent it to you ahead
oh
of
my
time.
God. You did, and it stuck in a way that spoke to me. So it's really interesting that you're telling the story and you didn't know the person, because I had a whole story with it, in my mind, and I still think it's right.
And I love that bridge. I think holds the best lyric I've ever come up with. So It's I've fallen, I've broken down, I've been counted on, I've been counted out. I could turn around, but I wouldn't change a thing. Hello world, I'm Josephine.
That is pretty.
I love
prolific.
that. I've been counted on, I've been counted out. Like when you do that count thing.
Yeah.
Like
the
I was
alliteration.
like, so when I was writing that, I was figuring out who she was, and I sat with that tune, playing it upstairs in my bedroom. My wife was downstairs. I sat with that song for 8 hours. I wrote that song in 8 hours, and writing, nothing comes close to it. It's mine.
Yeah.
Until that song goes out, and then pretty much it's like.
Then it's like people like me interpreting it in their own way.
And that's great, but they mean less to me, unfortunately.
Once they leave
leave my brain, once they leave my therapeutic zone.
Now they're everyone else's.
Now they're for everyone else, and then
that's strange. So it waters it down almost because.
And then we talk about solving puzzles. Why don't I know how to play it? I don't sit home and play my songs.
Yeah.
I don't listen to them. I want nothing to do with them. I
I'm
want
that
to
way
write
with the
new
podcast.
stuff.
Yeah.
That way with the podcast.
Yeah, early on, it's all you want to do is
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like,
Of course.
yeah. I'm like 10 years ago, I wanted everyone to know I was a musician.
Yeah.
Now I want no one to know I'm a musician, but I'm going to go on a podcast and talk all about it.
Well, we can
Don't
talk
worry.
about anything.
No one will still know. There's going to be hundreds of people.
And then, so I think that solving puzzles. What was the other one I just said? Josephine and 5.
5. That's old, right?
5's on defending the name.
So,
but 5 was a story that I had to figure out.
could we say that? This is my belief that defending the name was a turning point in your career as far as
It saved my career because I was writing these little lovey-dovey pop songs and I wasn't into it. And then I was going through stuff, family stuff, and instead of hating on the situation that I was going through, I kind of stepped back and I realized there's a reason that people in my life are the way they are. And rather than getting all accusatory and angry, I was like, let me step back and try and figure out why. Why am I the way I am? Why do certain people in my way? That was a little slip of the tongue. Why do
all these people in my way?
Yeah.
I mean these people in my orbit that I love.
Yeah. But why are they the way they are?
Because defending the name, you're defending King Carson.
That's right.
Yeah, defending the name of the ones, I would do the same for you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But
that's about my great grandfather.
To me,
Yeah.
that album was the turning point. That's why I asked, because in my mind, that was when everything changed. It was things before defending your name had a certain sound, and things after that had a level of introspection and a slightly different sound. It's not
defending the
entirely
name
different.
has balls.
It does, and that's why I chose Moonshiner from that as the intro,
Moonshiner has balls.
because it hits in a way that I wasn't used to your music hitting.
Yeah.
And
Well,
your music has hit like that.
And that's
since.
the first track on that record, and that's the first song I wrote for that record. So I wrote that, and I'm like, I'm screwed. Because how am I going to write a record following that? And I wrote 16 songs.
So can you tell the listeners, because we haven't gone deep dive into Moonshiner, what the story behind it?
Do you know
because
why?
I know the story.
No, but do you know why we can't go deep into it? Because the first 30 seconds are so quiet
Yeah.
that I had to really butcher your song. I had to get all the way into like the hook.
Yeah.
And then I had to start like it was.
Well, the song
because
builds.
It builds up
It
and
explodes.
it
Yeah.
even starts where it's almost like an echo chamber almost.
Well,
I don't know.
that's the beautiful thing for a record. You want to be like,
Yeah.
you're driving, and then people are like, "What is this?" And then all of a sudden they're starting to get into
Yeah.
like their drive or whatever, and then it's like this dead stop, and then
boom
Take off.
explosion.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. But so
It does that
originally,
live, too.
I had the intro done. I was leaving that whole like first 30 seconds in where it's like really quiet.
it was taking too long
And
for
then
the
I was
podcast.
yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, these people give me a minute. If it's not hitting in a minute,
Yeah.
they move on to Joe Rogan. So it's like I had to
Yeah.
shorten it.
Us and Joe Rogan.
Well, those are the only two that
Yeah,
people listen to.
exactly.
I always hear that they're like, I listen to Joe Rogan and Inside the Pallet House. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I always
It's good
hear.
company.
But
Yeah.
Taylor, can you tell the story of that song? Because
Yeah, so
I know the story. It's an
my,
awesome story.
So it's my father's grandfather. He grew up in Georgia, and and he fell on hard times. He was out of work, so he started moonshining, and like legit moonshiners didn't take too kindly to the fact that they were stealing business from him.
A new moonshiner in the game.
Yeah, it'd be like
it'd
be like having a thing going,
holler,
and then going off and starting something else and like pissing people off. Yeah. And then so he started, taking some money out of other people's pockets. That
didn't go over well.
Didn't go over well, so they
especially
came
to
confront him.
Yeah,
they confronted him.
There are no rules.
Rolled down his driveway, guns out. He told my grandfather and the rest of the family, "All right, go get down." He came out, laid those dudes out, killed them. They were on his property, so he was good. Self-defense.
I love it. And that's one of the most misunderstood lines in that song.
So so it's like he's defending.
I killed 2 men of
cold blood instead of in. Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh yeah, you just killed those people like with just malice in your heart. And I'm like,
you've never heard.
And I'm like, no, it's of cold blood. Those 2 men had cold blood. They were there to kill. They were the ones there with hate.
And he was defending his name, defending his family.
And I feel like I always have to explain
do the same
that.
For you.
I always have to explain that. They're like, oh man, he killed those 2 dudes in cold blood. I'm like, no, of is very different.
I love that people are still talking about that stuff.
Unfortunately,
since to me that's 9 years.
I know, but it's 9 minutes ago here.
But it's also there's a thing, Troy. Also, like I don't know how to play these songs. There is like people have soundtracks that they can the soundtracks. Oh, that's a part of the soundtrack of my life. These songs are my life.
Exactly.
So it's like there's not. Sometimes you have like you crashed your car or you broke up with a girl and that song was happening at that time.
Yep.
These were very autobiographical.
Yeah.
And I've gotten away from that because I need to and want to write more universal songs at this point. Because if something was going to blow up for me after 7 records, it would have happened by now.
So now it's like, this is for you.
Now it's like, and I get feedback from people who are. I'm very lucky to be in a position I am now, where I'm getting constant feedback daily on songs that I write. That's why I'm like, for the first time, I'm studying songwriting. Like it was just a.
Well, yeah, you said you'd alluded to it early on. You said you get up at 7:30, feed the boat meal or whatever.
Opa
meal.
Get her to school,
and then you write.
I come home. I get 2 triple espressos from. Starbucks.
That's a problem.
Get going.
Dude, I'm good. I don't have any. If that's my problem, then I'll hang my hat on that.
Yeah, we're drinking beer right now, so if that's his vice, that's his vice.
I'm drinking a Diet Mountain Dew, which I'm sure is just...
He's a healthy guy. He can drink a couple espressos.
Well, don't worry. We got... Because we know you're not drinking these days, which... I got to be honest, you were a far better musician than drunk, so I'm good with it. Like, I'm fine.
I wasn't good at it. Yeah.
You weren't a great drunk.
I tell people that, like, I stopped drinking because I stopped being good at it. And then my wife would be like, when were you good at it?
Nice.
You were good at it when you were, like, 16.
Well, I was fine.
That's where the problem starts, right?
Exactly.
When you're a good drunk at 16, you're probably going to be a bad drunk.
First time I got drunk, I was 12.
Yeah.
I had siblings who were 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
They're in high school drinking, and I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you gave up drinking instead of music, because I appreciate your music.
But
we do have a deli today. You are going to have to drink. You are going to have to drink a beer or 2 with me today. But they're non-alcoholic beers that I'm
all about
dying to try. So I catered to you.
Yeah,
I knew you were coming in today, so I wanted to. Because you told me the other day that you actually like to drink a non-alcoholic beer, like watching an event or something.
A near beer.
Yeah. Well, you so often I'm drinking like a seltzer or a Diet Coke, and it's like you don't feel like part of the hang.
Yeah.
Now I drink these non-alcoholic beers, and like it may be a non-alcoholic beer, but
You're in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And
but it got rid of whatever mental thing you were dealing with.
It is just that.
Yeah.
And but it's also it also shows that I shouldn't drink, because like I'll be drinking a non-alcoholic beer, and then all of a sudden I'll take 2 sips and then just slug it. And I'm like, well, that's not because you like the taste of beer.
The muscle reflex is still very much there.
2 in my mouth. I think I introduced you to drinking beer in the shower. Now
you did, you son of a bitch.
And now there's like I saw recently.
That's a whole thing.
But that's like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you introduced that to me when I was in college.
Yeah.
When I first heard, you're not going to take your beer to the shower. I was like, no. Why would I?
Best
you were like,
ever,
bro. You got to do this.
Because you're partying. Say it's at your house.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want to stop partying. You bring a beer in the. You got a little rack for your shampoo. Move the shampoo out of the way.
Shower beer. First time I heard about it was like 5 years ago, and it was one of those things. I'm like, how did I make it through college without doing that? Like,
yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah,
but
that's because you made it through college.
Yeah, well,
that if you're drinking
on some levels,
if you're drinking to party, it means you're with other people.
Yeah.
When you're keeping the party going by yourself in the shower, you have turned a corner. And
well,
it's not necessarily.
Well, I straight up.
I party by myself more than with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, once the kids and the wife go to bed, that's when I like to crack a few. Like
you do.
Yeah,
you do.
I would dig that.
Because I don't like to do it. I don't like to get drunk around the kids and the wife. You know,
So
the wife I'll do. Like if the kids are out of town or something.
I kind of do the Taylor move. I take a seltzer, not a hard seltzer, like a regular seltzer water. I put it in a koozie
and put a lime in it.
And no, it's just if I put the can in the koozie,
you feel like
I feel like I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So I'll sit there by myself and slug down 6 seltzers. As long as they're in the koozie, I'm having that same mental thing. Or if I'm standing around the guys and they're all drinking, I'll put mix a couple seltzers in. I don't feel like I'm giving anything up. So I guess it's kind of the same way you're using the NA beer.
I need the bottle. Like the seltzer, it's like, I know it's a seltzer.
Because it doesn't taste like a beer.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just the...
And it's like, it's clearly not a like, oh my God, you can't let him near the taste of beer. Like, I haven't drank in 8 years. I'm good. My daughter's never going to know me as a drinker.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah,
that
means, I think that means the most of it. It saved my relationship as well. You know, it was like drinking was the quick fix, and I had a decision to make. I could have a life moving forward with the person I've been with now for 15 years.
Yeah.
Or I could continue having the quick fix and wake up by myself.
Yeah.
I remember my wife was like, I can't do this
Make
for the rest of my life.
I remember when that happened.
That day, I went to an AA meeting, and I never drank again.
That's awesome, man.
You still go to AA?
No, I did it for 2 months, and then
You realized you had what it took to do this?
I mean, the stories were so much worse, and no, I don't mean to speak negatively, and I don't think it's speaking negatively, but that was very much that was their community.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I have friends. Not that they don't have friends, but they relate
you have
more
other
to
communities.
that. But I sure did lose a lot of friends when I stopped drinking because I became aware it's like, we're friends because we drink together.
That's
yeah.
And then I'm like,
that
cool,
always
those aren't friends.
That's like a fear I have. Like if I ever stop drinking, like, how many of these people am I going to want to be around?
People are pretty, a lot of people are kind of boring without alcohol.
Well, I'm glad you're stuck by my side.
Yeah, I mean, no, I love
That's
you.
cool.
You mean a great deal to me.
That worked out well because I didn't feel like I was losing anything when you quit drinking. No, when I thought I lost something. When you stopped eating cheese,
that
honestly,
was a bet.
I had to come home and be like, "Honey, I don't know if Taylor and I are going to make it."
Oh, you'll love what I'm doing right now.
Oh no, are you back on cheese?
Yeah, I'm on cheese, but for my New Year's resolution, and we're in October. I gave up pizza for a year.
Wow, that's hard to do.
Because I was like, we eat too much pizza.
Yeah,
and then so like I'm one of those dudes.
You're all or nothing guy.
100%.
For sure.
But my extremes, like if I exercise, it's going to be fucking brutal.
But the thing about pizza is that's just one of those things where, like, you're out and about and you're hanging, and that might be the only thing that shows up. So, like, you might not eat. Like,
that's the hard thing is pizza is so ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's like all of a sudden people are like, I don't know. There's nothing to eat.
Let's just pizza.
Order a pie. And it's like, damn it.
I wonder if I'd take on. I haven't, but I wonder if I'd like take on a calzone or something.
It's not a pizza.
Not pizza.
It's like a heroin addict snorting it. Oh no, I don't shoot up anymore. I just have the calzone.
Not into needles anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I quit. Yeah. No pizza for me. I'll take the calzone.
Beating them on technicality.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, where do you stand on the Cheez-It pizza? Because that's not a pizza. You've seen those ads?
Cheez-It pizza?
Yeah. You see his eyes light up. He's like, I'm off the
Because
wagon.
Cheez-Its are my jam.
Yes.
Oh, they're doing Cheez-It pizzas now.
You had mentioned it when we were getting dinner.
You know what that screams to me? America.
Yes.
Yeah, so Pizza
America.
Hut is taking Cheez-It crust and filling it. So it's basically like a giant mozzarella stick, but it's Cheez-It crust filled with mozzarella.
That's great. However,
And
I would eat
dust.
two pieces, feel immeasurable guilt, and fucking puke.
Then don't do it.
Then I'm not going to. At least not this year.
Yeah, that didn't sound good at all.
No, because I would be like, oh my God, this is a butt. However, if I did that right now, my
guts
stomach
would fall out.
just be a mess.
And
we know what Taylor's doing January 1st at 12:01 a.m.
Oh,
right?
it's already been talked about.
Yeah.
What,
My wife's like, where do you want pizza
Yeah,
from?
where-
for
where-
New Year's?
where
You gotta
will
go-
you-
Yeah, what's your
Probably
number
the
one with the
Italian
bullet?
store in
Oh,
Arlington.
Arlington?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a good pie.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I had a hard time going there and not just getting an Italian. Their subs are
Yeah,
amazing.
oh yeah. I go there every Thursday, so I'll be there tomorrow.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. That place, that's one thing that I miss when I moved to Richmond. We don't have any true delis of that caliber.
Even the bread.
It's the bread, it's the meat, it's the whole nine.
Well, the
like
bread,
I had the deli.
Mhm.
I had the Italian store. There was a place in Vienna I could go to. There was 4 different spots where I could get a sandwich, none of which can be touched anywhere in this area, and it breaks my heart.
Well, it's a lot of it. Like if you go to New York, New Jersey, and for bagels as well, they say it's the water. So the
Yep.
Italian
Yeah, that would
store,
make sense.
they get
they bring their bread in.
water shipped down to them.
Oh, are you serious? That's
Yeah.
what they do?
Uh huh. It's all about the
That's-
water.
That's funny. I saw a guy selling water online for pizza crust the other day, and it was
There you go.
and it's just New York tap water.
Yep.
And the dude's
Yeah,
filling
but
up
that's
jugs of New York tap
All
water.
all
That's the jam.
water's different. Like every
I know. It's crazy though to me that this guy can fill up jugs of water from his tap and then sell it to you.
Yeah,
and
he's
you'll
paying
pay
like
a premium.
20 cents a
Heck
gallon
yeah.
for it out of his tap, and you're paying.
Where are those
$5 a
non-alcoholic
gallon?
beers? I'm jonesing.
All right, well let's
Let's get into one of the delis.
We'll do an early deli. We're gonna have 2 of them tonight, if you don't mind.
Which one are we doing first?
I have a question though. That one place that we've had sandwiches near where I get my tattoos, that place is good.
Tarot's.
I like that place.
The place is excellent. Okay, I do have a
I've
question
had this
for
one.
you. I do have a question for you about non-alcoholic beer. So this one right here says less than 0.05 or whatever, or less
It's
than 0.5.
nothing. It's
But that one says 0.0.
yeah. I've never seen 0.0. It's generally like 0.02 or something.
But does that bother you knowing that or you'd have to drink a dozen?
No. However, I will tell you. About 5 years ago, I ate like a rum cake,
Oh, you felt it?
like 2 bites, and I felt it.
And you were
and I
like,
was like-
uh-oh, put it away.
And I
Put it
pushed it
away.
away. And I wasn't like, ooh, I love that. I was like disgusted.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're
I
in the
hated
corner
the
with
feeling.
a pizza. You're like, what
yeah,
just
cheese it
happened?
with a Cheez-It pizza.
Yeah, let's try the Heineken, man. I've been
All right,
dying
we'll do
to
the
try
Heineken
this.
first.
And we should shotgun them.
No, absolutely not. What the? You are all or nothing, dude. What the hell was that? He just went from, no, it's not. Yeah, no shotgun. No, drink it down. I've been wanting to try one of these Heinekens for quite a while. So
Well,
I'm excited that
good.
we're trying this. This is the Heineken non-alcoholic.
Challenge.
Because I do like to have a couple non-alcoholic beers around. And I usually buy Caliber.
Yeah, Caliber's good.
That seems, and then I love,
Made by Guinness.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So-
I like the St. Pauli girl.
That's
NA.
good.
I like
So-
that a lot.
What you were to touch on what you were saying. This is a 0.0, which, like Taylor says, you don't see that very often.
No, I've never seen that.
It's they did the tricky 11.2 size can.
That's
not
how you
a
get
12
it.
ounce.
That's how you get it to 0.0. At 12 ounces, it registered.
69 calories. Interesting.
Yeah, I knew that. Hey-o.
And also another thing, like I don't drink these all the time, more in the summer, but randomly is like I know, like I'm so vain about trying to stay a little bit
Thin?
slim.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's just empty calories.
It's just like
Yeah.
that. I know that, even like sometimes drinking non-alcoholic beer, I'm like,
But
I
this
need
is
to hit-
69 calories. That's good, right?
That is
It
good.
depends on. I mean, it's all about carbs and added sugar.
Lord
Does it
only
say
knows.
it on the
Oh
can.
God, this thing is impossible to
I
read.
think it's probably on the box.
It's
This
not,
is
I think it's
this
on the
conversation's as cool as your Mazda Miata.
Dude, mock all you want.
Whoa.
That thing,
That thing's
cheers.
Pretty quick.
Bottoms
Cheers, brother.
up.
can. 16 grams of carbs.
Shut up.
Which
Yeah.
is all sugar.
No way. They have to fill it with that much just to make it go.
Yeah.
But that's like 4 or 5 tablespoons of sugar.
Doesn't taste sweet at all.
No,
Weird.
in more ways than one.
69 calories.
No, it tastes fine to me.
Actually, this beer is interesting right here. I'm like,
Got a cool looking can. Stu would like it.
It is a great looking can.
It doesn't cut. It doesn't cut like most of the non-alcoholic beers.
This is interesting.
I haven't tasted it yet, but it does not smell like a Heineken. So I'm interested. Does it have the skunk taste?
Give it a taste.
This tastes like a skunk beer.
We'll hold on to our reviews. I think.
Okay.
I think it's interesting for sure.
That's very interesting.
To say the least. And Taylor, you'd probably be the one who knows the most about non-alcoholic beer. So why don't you can start and tell us what's your initial thoughts on that beer?
So we grade on 0 to 5, 5 being the best, and
Yeah.
you can do half points.
I mean, I can't be that critical because it's just like. But I will say that I went on a tour last year with Stephen Kellogg, and on the rider, which is like what you get backstage and stuff.
This is where you say no blue M&Ms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. There was, a 6-pack of non-alcoholic beer. So we were all
For
over
him
the
or for
country.
you?
For me.
Uh-huh.
So we went all over the country. And
Got all
they
different
had,
ones?
Like, there's now, like, craft non-alcoholic beer.
And I was
wow.
really
I was
disappointed.
blown away.
In Richmond, none of our breweries that I could find were making a non-alcoholic
Seems
beer.
like a no-brainer.
I was a little upset by that, considering how many
It's a
breweries
small
we have.
market.
But we have, per capita, we've got a boatload of breweries.
Yeah.
So I was shocked when I was Googling it that I couldn't find it. So
How do you brew beer?
You actually have to brew the beer, and then you have to bake out, essentially boil out the alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
That's
Interesting.
but the Heineken said that they took a slightly different approach, and they, from the ground up, they were building a non-alcoholic beer, whereas most just brew a beer and boil it.
I'll tell you what. I'm already looking forward. My brain is already looking forward to the next one.
That's a good sign or a bad sign.
That's me as a drinker.
Okay.
But I wouldn't.
This is
but
malt
by
beverage.
by no means would I substitute. I have zero desire to feel the effects of alcohol, so I would never substitute
Uh-huh.
a real beer into this situation. But the addictive personality in me is already psyched about the next one.
That's wild. I mean, I get
The
it.
next non-alcoholic beer we're doing.
Yeah, just the next.
Well, there's 3 more of these, so you can have as many of these as you want.
But that's like But I'm like you said. I'm either all or nothing. My wife will tell you I'm an extreme. I'm the extreme.
I've been told I'm pretty extreme. So what do you think of that then? If you're gonna, because you have a bigger base to compare it to.
So those like plastic barrels that you have the rope handles,
The keg tubs.
keg tubs. Okay, and you stuff them with ice. Blah blah blah. The next morning you come out, they're cold. There's beer in there. They're cold, but it's just that cold water.
Yeah.
That's that beer.
Interesting. So it's not as
It works, but
it's not great.
you're like, oh, hair of the dog. It's that, but it's not as bad as that. But I would give it a 2.5.
I see what he's getting at.
middle of the road.
I see what he's getting at because I think this
It
beer
feels less
tastes-
carby.
Yes. It tastes very light. It to me it tastes good. It's very clean. Like it's got a little bit of that Heineken skunk. Like Taylor was saying, it tastes like Heineken beer has been poured over rocks, over ice, and sat there all night. I mean, it's a really watered down Heineken to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I give it a 3.5. Like,
Yeah.
I don't drink a lot of non-alcohol. The last non-alcoholic
The next
beer
one you'll love.
I had with you, and I forget what it was at. It was at Penny Lane when I was doing the.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
When I wasn't drinking that month of January.
Yeah, but we wanted to go celebrate.
Yeah,
so we
'cause
sat back and had
we
a
did the
couple-
polar plunge.
Yeah, so I had a Guinness and you had a you had no duels.
Was that what it was?
Yeah,
I
it
thought it
was
was
no
something better than
duels.
that because it was at the pub and they had some better.
Actually, it could have been a Caliber.
Could have been. I do
that's
not
like
remember.
my favorite one. So you're going to give it between a 3 and a 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes enough like a beer, but it tastes like a watered down beer. Maybe you want a more beery flavored. But then, at the same time, maybe you want a 0.0. Maybe that's
I think this is the worst one I've ever had.
the least flavorful.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still fine with it. But
but
it is
that's rough.
exactly
That's rough.
the keg.
But there's probably
thing.
person out there that wants 0.0. Like they're probably so scared of any
And that's
alcohol.
the thing.
That
that's what
person
I-
shouldn't be having a non-alcoholic beer.
Yes,
That's
right.
very
yeah.
true. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because then they have 50 of them.
Yeah.
You know, be like, got it.
Yeah. No, still 0.0.
Like, boy, since you quit drinking, you got fat.
It's light beer.
What'd you start eating pizza again?
Yeah.
So I actually think this is all right. I mean,
Yeah.
It's fine.
It has a definite, has that metallic Heineken aftertaste.
Yeah.
So it's identifiable as a Heineken. So I'll give it that for sure. I like Heineken. So I actually like this beer. To your point, extremely watered down.
Yeah.
It has less flavor than a Heineken Light.
Yeah.
And a Heineken Light has very little flavor. This, if I had to put it up against the St. Pauli Girl NA, because that's kind of the ballpark here, I think, that St. Pauli Girl's better. That St. Pauli Girl is actually pretty good. This reminds me of a Heineken, though, and I like that. And so it's in
So
the
the
non-alcoholic range, it's a 3.
The St. Pauli girl, would you confuse it for a beer? Or
They
do you know
don't they make alcohol, St. Pauli with alcohol?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so St.
Yeah,
Pauli's
okay.
cuts both ways.
Okay.
And they just do a better job of making a non-alcoholic beer. So I would, as of right now, if you're looking for the green bottle vibe, that flavor, I would recommend the St. Pauli over this. But this is fine. I'd keep some of this in the fridge.
This is a cool looking can, and really, in looking at it, you might not know it's a non-alcoholic beer. So
It's-
if you really
Except
want
for
to,
the 0.0,
except for
that's
that,
screaming at you.
but
that's
you
also
wouldn't
like,
look for that.
hey, non-drinker.
yeah,
But if you put
Don't.
it in a koozie, all it says is Heineken coming
yeah.
out the top.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty good.
Maybe if I put it in the inside the pallet house koozie,
it'll taste
Boom.
better
it'll
for
change
sure.
everything.
It certainly won't hurt. It's a pretty dope koozie you got there.
I haven't used a new koozie in a long time.
It's hard to get it in there, isn't it?
Story.
That's
of
the good thing about
your
new
life.
koozies. They're real tight like that.
Taylor gets it.
Oh, I just stopped myself.
No, so yeah, I'll give it a 3.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3. That's a
I
pretty
think I was a 2.5. Yeah,
2.5.
but
3,
I'm the one who
3.5.
drinks more non-alcoholic beer. So
And
You're
that's
the-
why
I can
you're
be a
the
little. I can be a
connoisseur.
little more. I can be
Yeah.
a half a point more judged.
Yes.
We're not giving this a deli. It just doesn't quite cut it.
Yeah.
So you had
I
mentioned
wouldn't spit this out. That's what
No.
I'm saying.
you had
Story
mentioned
of your life.
you had mentioned that you were on tour drinking these with Stephen Kellogg. That tour was this past year, correct?
Yeah, I think my record.
That was in support of the latest latest
after
record.
the Tamer has gone. Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
Now that's the
Should've been
tour
looking.
where you got to meet one of my personal heroes, Adam Duritz.
Yeah, and then
Is he cool?
he's great.
So he really is that cool, like in person.
He's cool. Yes.
Is he depressed? Like,
no,
does he
he's
have
good.
like a? Because you know how his music screams.
He
slow
has
and low.
some sort of disease that he doesn't know what's real and what's fake.
Whoa!
I
for
don't
real?
know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the condition is, but that's a real disorder.
Like what? I'm confused. Like, what do you mean doesn't know what's real and what's fake? Like,
Let me look it
he
up.
doesn't know.
I mean, that's wild. So like would it be something akin to I can't remember if this memory really happened or if
Oh,
I'm
yeah, okay,
daydreaming?
yeah, that
like
makes
something
sense.
like that, or if he's in a situation he's honestly conflicted. Like I don't know if this moment is real.
Does it make his hair grow that way?
Dude,
No, he
shaved.
shaved
I know he shaved
his
it,
dreads.
yeah.
Here you go. In 2008, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with depersonalization disorder, a mental illness where sufferers feel disconnected from their own thoughts and body. It makes you think you're imagining things and that nothing is real.
Wow, that sounds trippy.
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad trip.
Yeah,
So
tough way to go.
love
through
that
life.
you love Adam Duritz because something that led from that tour, me meeting him and this other amazing music journalist named James Campion.
Is that who he does the podcast with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Underwater
Yeah.
Sunshine. But they have a festival, and they invited me to play the festival, and then you record like a video thing beforehand, and where you go to is Adam Duritz's 10,000 square foot apartment in New York City.
Is that real?
It's
Wow.
Or is he imagining that? 'Cause that's a
I was
huge-
I was
that's a
there,
huge
and I
apartment
don't
for New
imagine
York.
I don't imagine shit.
It's just so
Well,
big for
I
New
do.
York.
Yeah, that's huge.
But you walk in, and it was like fully catered, like real deal festival stuff. And I get in, and all of a sudden I'm like, I grew up a huge Counting Crows fan. I remember the first time I heard Omaha, and I was just like, what is that?
I do too. Changed my life. That album
for sure
changed my life. I was like sold.
Yeah.
And that was right during my Irish music phase, so it fit real nice.
Yeah, perfect with the accordion.
Yep.
And then so we start getting set up, and then I think it was around noon. All of a sudden, this like bookcase opens. Out walks Adam from his
like
bedroom.
A secret door.
Yeah,
That's
like
awesome.
The musician in the cupboard.
So he walks out. He lives in
Webster's house.
Silver spoons,
dude. It was, and that you go into the bathroom, and he has like all of their platinum records and everything that they've won
in the bathroom,
all over the bathroom.
That's hilarious.
He has a theater, like probably like 5 bedrooms.
God, good for him.
Like 3 bathrooms, a huge space where they're doing a multi-camera shoot.
Wow.
With you could do a full band thing in there. And I, obviously I'm a huge fan. And so one of the things we filmed for that was Josephine. And during that I've Fallen, I've Broken Down. Before I went into that, I did Took a Holiday in Spain.
Ah, great Counting
Crows
song.
Which is one of my favorite Counting Crows tunes.
Absolutely.
And so I went from that with the same chords.
Is that off the Hard Candy album?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. And then I went into the bridge of
Josephine.
Josephine. Yeah.
So he's a fan of yours. Like if I listened to the podcast and
yeah, they interviewed me for like 45 minutes, and so I'm just sitting on a couch.
One day the other guy just was like, "Hey, I want to play something for you."
Yeah, exactly.
And he
played
played
I Believe in You.
Yeah, and they were like,
he's like,
they were blown away. Yeah, they were hyping you up. I had the flu. I was sick as shit. I didn't know if I was dreaming or if it was real. And in that moment, I had Adam Duritz disease, and I was like laying there, and I was like, hold on, are they
Wait,
really?
what?
Are they really? That's Taylor. I was
like,
what the hell
that
is this?
That was a huge influence on me. That was a big moment in time. I always say if like musicians got paid on experiences, a lot of us would be pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
Because I've played for Bill Clinton. I've done a lot of pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Did you save the dress?
Yeah.
You are good.
I sewed it and saved it. I was like, I'll make a dress if you know.
Right here, Bill.
And then
I digress.
From that, so then they interviewed me, and I brought one of my best friends and who lives in the city. I was like, yo, you want to go hang out at Adam Duritz's apartment with me all day?
What?
And then, so the next day, I was a little like skidded. I was just a little nervous I wasn't filming, but I had the open invite to go. And so I wasn't playing, but I went and just hung out at his apartment again for like another 8 hours. And then where the festival was at a venue that was nearby. So you just grab your guitar and your backpack and your pedal board and walk over. I played in the small room, like 90 people. He came in, sat on a bar about 10 feet from me, and watched the entire set.
In a situation like that, is he playing Counting Crows songs, or is he just playing?
No, he doesn't
wants?
play. He just runs the festival.
Okay.
He just wants to expose other. He's just a
name to
music
it.
fan.
That's fantastic.
And so he puts on, this festival, and now it's growing, and it's happening again this year, and they're doing it like 3. There's this place called the Rockwood Music Hall.
How do you get an invite to some? Is that invite? Is that ticket?
It's
How do
in.
like if I wanted to go see it.
I think there's like maybe like an Evite type thing. You got to be in the know.
So it's in the know though. I can't just like
a fan
but at the
club
same
thing?
time, like so many of my family members
able
didn't do
to.
that, and then they showed up and they were fun.
Man, that sounds awesome. Like that.
It was
sounds
great.
Really cool.
And I played really well, and I would tell you if I played.
Really
you're
you're by far your worst critic.
I was psyched about that set. And I asked him about doing something that I do. I open up on that Kellogg tour. I came up with this idea to open up a cappella with the song "Where We've Been," and then I opened every song with that, every show with that, and then I would go into a song called "Brave," which was on After the Tamer Has Gone, which is the first track on that record. And then so I went up to him and James, and I was like, "What do you guys think? Should I?" I'm like, "The room's probably going to be a little loud right away. Do you think I should do that?" And he's like, "I would wait a little while." He's like, "You'll feel it out." And it was cool to go to him and be like, what's your take on what I should do with my set?
And his answer wasn't, no, don't do it.
No, he's like, feel it out. He's like, I wouldn't start with it.
That's awesome.
So that was great. Yeah, that was very rewarding. And then, unfortunately, where I'm at in my career, it's like that lasted for like a week.
That high.
Yeah. It may be less.
Yeah.
It probably...
Because you're all constantly moving forward. You're just having
and I'm...
Well, last time you were here, you said that you weren't going to cut another album.
Yeah, and then
so if you go back and listen to the last time you were on, you said that. You said, I'm not cutting another album. I'm done with that. I'm doing some other things now. You were staying in music, but you were doing some other things. And then it was like, months later, you were like, hey, man, I'm dropping this album. And I was like, what? You liar. Like, you backdoored me here.
I was just writing tunes, and then I called up my buddy Mark Williams, who produced With Innocence and then Go Amaze. And then I was like, should we make another record? I have a bunch of songs.
So it was really natural. You didn't set out to make an album. You just had all these things.
I think it was probably like Josephine that pushed it over the edge.
I would believe that because I remember Josephine, you were really high on that.
Yeah.
Like you were like, I love this
and
song.
I wish I could feel that. Like I do miss.
Well, you felt it then.
Yeah, but I do miss that. It's almost like.
But now are you telling me that there's no more albums coming? Is that what you're telling me today?
I am not intentionally going to put out another Taylor Carson record. I would love to be...
Mark it down. October 2019,
Yeah.
Taylor said no album. The over-under.
You will hear my voice in places, but it's not going to be like...
A Taylor Carson album.
I'm 37.
Gross.
But it's like, I'm not... There's enough white boy singer-songwriters in the world. And I've done 7 records, and I've been told, honestly, it's like, if it was going to work, it would have worked by now, and I think that's true.
But I don't necessarily believe that. I've seen artists hit in their 40s.
But I also don't want to go on tour and miss life with my daughter and life with my wife.
How much of it is that? How much of it really is that you don't want to leave home? Because you were touring last year. I remember that. You were touring a lot.
That was a cool opportunity because I came up a big fan of Kellogg, and then we became close friends.
Well, and you guys did a song together.
Waiting for Me, yeah.
Which, to me, is
I forgot about that one.
I've got it.
I forgot about that song I did with Stephen Kellogg.
So to me, that song reminds me of my brother a lot. And when I hear that song, so again, I've stolen a little bit of your song because I carry it.
That is, but in the long run, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and I really like that song because it takes me to a sad place, but also
Brendan loves to be sad. Nothing makes Brendan happier than being sad.
I love a slow, sad song.
But that's exactly right. Like you and I were just rocking Jason Isbell. I mean, it's the same idea, right? Yeah. But that song, as sad as it is, it's actually very cathartic for me.
Well, the point is, it's like a happy, I lost someone, but I'm going to see them again. I've got an old friend who will be there waiting for me. Exactly. When I make it to the end, I know you'll be there waiting for me. To light a candle that led the way, had some funny things to say, have some funny things. Yep. I know you'll be there waiting for me.
Did Stephen Kellogg help you write that song, or was that a collaboration? Because I know in the end you're both on that song. I
would say that, he produced it with a guy named Kit Carlson, and then the Sixers, the whole band played he helped me button it up.
So you wrote the song.
I think I can honestly say that I wrote 90% of that song.
But then you went to him and you were like, hey, man, I think I've got a vehicle for us.
I was like, I've got a good song. I think it could be great. And when I was thinking of who can make me, who can help me make this song great, Steven was the answer.
Got it. Yeah, because it's a fantastic song. It really is. So that was that the impetus or the beginning of the relationship, or were you already touring with him on some level when
that
happened?
I had toured with him, and I definitely wanted to be more a part of his world.
Okay.
Yeah,
when it comes he fits right into your world. Like, he's kind of got that folky rock sound.
I mean, at the end of the tour, he's like, I think it'll be a good break. He's like, I think we're turning into too much of each other. Something along those lines. He's very smart, and he just has a way. I mean, I
broke up with a girl like that once. I think we're getting too similar.
We were texting the other day.
But you guys are still tight, obviously.
Yeah, I'll read you this. Something he said to me the other day, and I need to.
You sure you don't want to text him and make sure it's cool that you put that?
No, it's just
because this usually gets NFL players in trouble when this happens.
No, we're good.
Okay.
He's, we check in, how you doing, blah blah blah. What books are you reading? We do that type stuff, and then, I told him, like, things are fine. It's always a struggle for all of us. He said, it was about accepting yourself. But he said about to take off, he was flying to Arizona for a show. He's on tour with Will Hogue. He said, imagine if we could accept ourselves, would be like a superpower. And I was like...
Voltron.
And I just put my phone down, and I was like, that just shook my day. And, like, that's what
That's what you needed in that moment.
Yeah, I guess so. But I didn't.
Well,
but it
know.
pushed me to something,
And that's why I'm not a musician. One of the many reasons. Like,
what about that?
Just that, like I'm pretty happy in my own skin. Like, I don't have the torment that a lot of musicians sound like they have when it comes to.
You're gonna be a writer.
Yeah,
comedy and musicians. You gotta have some.
You come from.
You gotta be a little bit
generally
broken.
Messed up childhood. I had a pretty good one.
The audio medium is perfect. Can't see anything in the room. Well done.
And then,
your sister's listening. Like, see,
he
loved it.
We pulled it off.
Nailed it.
Pulling it off. I mean, each other's hair.
Yeah. You have alopecia? No. It's my sister.
No, I got a sister. Yeah, you have to. I'm doing great right now, but I mean, I definitely suffer from anxiety and depression. And
well, actually, can we talk about that? Because the whole reason you're in Richmond today is because you got a tattoo. Mm-hmm. You came down. In fact, that seems to be the main reason you come to Richmond these days.
I said, I looked like I always look like a wounded soldier when I'm in Richmond.
I'd say give your boy a shout out, but I know that. I mean, you can say who it is, but I know they're a very successful studio.
Oh yeah, Brian Bruno at Absolute Art.
And you've been going to him for years.
5 years. I'm sorry. Over 5 years.
If I remember correctly, the way this started was you were in New York City looking to get your first tattoo, and
so there's
they sent you here.
So my buddy, the guy who does all my album art, has a friend who was on that show when
Inked
Custom Ink
Ink Masters.
Ink Masters.
Yeah. And so I was like, yo, hook me up. I want to go get, tatted up by this guy. And so the guy was like, where's he based? And he shouldn't come up to New York. He should go see Brian Bruno in Richmond if he's a Virginia guy. And that's how it all started.
I love that they send people, like New York City people are like, no, go to Richmond.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot, but we got
Richmond.
ink.
Oh, my God. Yes. You walk around by VCU.
Oh,
everyone's tatted up.
It's everywhere. And I'm like, I am getting new tattoos and shit. And it's like this generation, we're just going to have wrinkly tattooed skin.
It's going to get to the point where
droopy.
The true extremists that are young are the no tat people.
Yep.
Like,
for sure.
Dude, that dude's crazy.
Yeah.
Completely clear.
You can't trust him. You see how many tattoos he doesn't have?
Exactly.
I live in Arlington, Virginia. I'm the tattoo dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Richmond,
most people
dad.
up there have
Zero
real jobs.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is funny like that here. But so you came down to Richmond to get a tattoo today, which you had reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, hey, I'm coming in town. And I was like, actually, I think I'm in town that night.
Of the album artwork that was never going to happen.
Well, and so, yes, that's what's so ironic. And so you have the album artwork.
I see what you've just done.
Yes, you following me?
Yeah, now I see how we got here.
So after the Tamer has gone, you had this album cover. And that is what's on your arm. But you had just made a comment about your anxiety. And I think that artwork is brilliant because it really speaks to a lyric from that song. Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind,
there's a song called Stay.
I know people can't see the tattoo, but if you could describe it and kind of what it means and why it's there, I think it's cool.
I just think about that song as well. That's also one of my favorite. And it's interesting because that's the bridge. And the Josephine song in Josephine, the part that I love most is the bridge.
Yeah.
And the bridge of song is just like, all right, verse chorus is what people know.
Yeah.
Generally bridges are filler. And
you need them to get from A to B.
Yeah, it's the bridge.
It makes sense
Yeah.
now.
It's
that you
literally you need
Yeah.
a bridge to cross.
Kind of like a bridge you need to get from A to B.
Yeah.
The bridge in the song you
get
need
it.
to
Yeah.
get to A to B. Weird how they named it that. Just by chance.
And so the line is, I'm underneath a microscope, wearing a blindfold, walking a tightrope, locked in a lion's den after the tamer has gone.
And this tattoo literally has a guy
Walking
across a tightrope and
blindfolded.
and underneath the way this lion
But you
looks,
do see the microscope.
Yeah.
The lens of the microscope, but it's like much cooler. It's not
It's
like
looking from underneath the guys.
but the lion is so big
Yeah,
and
the
scary.
lion, he's in
and
the
person,
foreground.
but he's beautiful.
But the person is like this
Tiny,
insignificant,
yeah.
scary
But it's
dude
not like a
crossing tightrope.
scary, like a lion has his mouth open.
No,
it's like, all right, the
uh,
tamer has
it's
gone.
like Chronicles of Narnia lion. Like
Yeah.
it's majestic and powerful, but not like rawr.
But he's
Yeah.
got his eyes on the guy like,
Yeah, and this
are you
dude's
falling?
and this
But
dude's
if he
blindfolded.
does fall, he may be able to reason with this lion. You know,
Yeah.
that seems
But there's-
super far fetched. But it's like, this is just sometimes, and that microscope that it's talking about. That microscope is brought by me.
yes.
I am, I've done the therapy thing. I've been told many times they've never met someone who is as hard on themselves as I am.
Oh, you're brutal on yourself. man.
Yeah.
You're brutal.
But
on
I've gotten a lot better. Like in the last 2 months, I've gotten much better because there was a major downfall. And it's talked about a lot now. I take medicine for depression, and I was like, I need to have some stuff fixed. Something's off, And
medicine's
so
not the answer. It's you got to figure it out.
you got to
right?
figure it out,
Yeah.
and you got to follow it. And so I'd stayed the course. They're like, that's not the case. I'm like, this is bullshit. I go to the gym every day. I stopped drinking. I've done all this
You're
stuff.
checking all the boxes.
So
bettering
what the
yourself.
fuck is the answer?
Yeah.
And so I was like, please, can we just try something? And so they upped my dosage. And then all of a sudden, I literally 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I was going to bed. And I looked at my wife and I was like, oh, God, I'm getting choked up. I looked at my wife and I was like, I feel happy. And I was like, I don't understand. I'm like, I don't know
That's
why.
foreign.
Yeah.
That's
And I was
the-
like, I don't understand. It's very foreign. I was like, I don't understand why I feel
That's
happy.
scary. That's
no, but
scary
that's
to hear
great.
that. Yeah.
So
well, it's great to
whatever
hear,
it is,
but
you have found.
Yeah, and right now it's like I feel good. My things are in a good place, and when I'm going through a struggle, I'm able to tap the brakes and be like, whatever I'm dealing with in my brain, I now can put it aside and know that I have a daughter who's sleeping in the other room.
Yeah,
I have a wife who's sleeping next to me. I'm getting up and looking in the mirror and thinking I'm going to look at a terrified 14-year-old.
yeah.
But instead I'm looking at a bearded 37-year-old with
Content
some gray hair.
37-year-old.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but this is so new. Like that I legitimately was not from something happy. It wasn't that quick fix like playing for Adam Durst. It was because I legitimately felt happy because that's what life's supposed to be.
That's awesome.
And that's the
Man,
first.
I'm so happy to hear that because I know you're
Yeah.
tormented. I know
Yeah.
we've talked about
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things late at night,
Brutal.
sober and drunk, for
Yeah.
years, you
Yeah.
know? And I know you battled with it, but I actually know you sent me a song that you were working on the other day, and I listened to it, and I was like, that song's really happy.
Mhm.
That song's really upbeat and kind of in a different place.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's already starting to come out a little bit.
Yeah.
In some of the things you're writing. Are you finding that your writing is changing a little bit because of that?
It's
Or is
more-
it just that
It's
you're a
more,
student and you've learned to
I think
get
it's
to this
the
point?
student. Yeah, yeah. And
Troy,
the
can I
thing
have one
is,
of those full flavor beers?
Yeah.
the 4.5s.
the thing is I've been told write about love, but don't make it a love song. So that's more of a support.
That makes so much sense to me.
easier said than done.
No, but it's right.
But
right?
I
If you
got
write-
that,
Thank you, Troy.
yeah.
You're welcome.
But if you write a love song, then it's all sappy and all that. But if the song
But there's
speaks
people
to
who
love,
aren't in love. and they can't latch onto that.
Yeah.
But if you talk about like love being the appreciation of something or like a force,
Yeah, not being in
that's
love.
much different.
That's pretty deep. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote this one yesterday. I'll read you some lyrics.
This Bud Light tastes fucking awful.
I'm sure. Oh,
After that light Heineken.
Well, it started because I had a Monster Energy when we started. And then my first sip of Bud Light was like, this is gross. Then I had the Heineken, and I was like, okay, this is better. And now I'm having a Bud Light, and I'm like, ugh, trash.
So this tune may never see the light of day. So I see the waters rising. You need a place to hide. Take my hand, I'll take you there. Let's find you some freedom. You may need to leave love behind. That's all right. I am by your side. All of us are strong enough to take on the world. Time's flying by. There's no rewind, so take on the world. When days start fading to black, keep your light alive and shine. Been running since the day we could stand. Our hearts racing, now screaming louder than we ever knew they could. There's a rhyme scheme in there somewhere, but all of us are strong. All of us are strong enough to take on the world. Time's flying by. There's no rewind, so take on the world. And then
you can already hear there's more hope there, though. Like you hear how you're approaching the problem.
It's like a carpe diem type. Yes, I'm approaching.
It's good to hear, man.
Yes, so I mean, there's so many lyrics in here that
right,
may never.
I'm going to go a very different route here. But you had made a comment to me earlier that you had deleted the Twitter and Instagram off your phone.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did that happen? That you started
Twitter like a month ago. Because
Okay.
I'm
going to make a very big jump here, but I question it. Could the removal of social media from your life contribute to the fact that you're able to be happier in the moment?
I don't think that's a big jump.
No, but that's what I mean.
It plays a part.
It was my wife would be asleep for hours, and I would be on my phone, refresh. I would just follow political.
No, I'm saying
stuff.
For you, it's hard to do. I'm saying the jump from getting rid of that to you being happier. That's not a big jump to me. I think it is.
I think it
I
is.
think there's
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was getting. You just get sucked into this like.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
It
sounds like a no-brainer. You get rid of it, and you're.
But most people look at social media and they think, "Oh, look at all these happy people. Look at all this." But I find that trying to keep up.
I'm agreeing with y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying I find that trying to keep up with the Joneses is exhausting.
Yes.
And people don't put out there the truth. I actually want to start an Instagram where I just show the shit. Like every time the dog's pissed on the carpet,
like
every time the
Instagram
kids are
happy,
screaming. I want to just show the worst of it because maybe, just maybe, I could find happiness.
Well, then it becomes you post things and then you check how many likes did this get.
Yeah, and that's
then
exhausting.
you start to feel bad about yourself
that you didn't get enough likes.
Yeah.
I watch my wife do this all the time. She puts a picture up
and deletes it because it didn't get enough.
No, and like half hour later, she's looking in and she's like 13 likes, 15 likes, 20-some likes, and I'm like, I was sitting here, we were high-fiving. That was the ultimate like.
Yeah.
Like that should be where the joy is, and I think social media kind of it either dulls you a little or it makes you chase.
A bad thing. I think the internet ruined the world.
In some respects, it saved us because it brought us.
A lot,
look at
now
places,
everyone has a voice, which is not always a good thing.
Yeah, but look at countries that don't have a voice, and like social media actually does great things. Like when Egypt rose up, or when you see, some of these things that actually happen across social media because they can't be censored.
Help,
yeah, but then you get in a first world country where we have, and it steals happiness.
Well, Twitter's one of those things. I've never had Twitter. A buddy of mine got in early and was like, you got to get on Twitter. It's going to be the next big thing. I was like, it sounds stupid. But for someone like Taylor, for entertainers, for people, I see where it's a great way to get things out there. I'm going to be here. I'm doing this. It's a good way to interact. But then, like you said, you get the political stuff. You get just made up shit. And people post things in social media. It just scares me because everybody believes everything they see.
It's also like
crazy.
I was only posting things that were awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this is, and I'm not going to be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like I'm only posting, a lot of the stuff I was posting with my daughter.
But I hate when people post nothing. Like, oh, this is what my kid did today. I'm like, I give zero shits about that.
I have two. Yeah, I have two kids.
I post one thing. Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's and you know what? I don't get any likes.
Yeah.
I get a like from
I
Troy.
like it.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
Twitter, so sorry. I would have given you a like.
That's fine. Be off Twitter. Be off Twitter.
But
I
like
think it's
I
interesting.
did today, I got a tattoo, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I did something cool." So I post.
You put it on Facebook. I saw it.
Well, yeah, on the band page. I keep the band page
Yeah.
alive, but personal.
That was gonna be nice. You have to have social
Yeah.
media presence.
Yeah. So, but I re-downloaded Instagram
To put it
to
on
post
there.
the tattoo, and when I was done with that, like an hour later, after checking my numbers,
Yeah.
I deleted it again because I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
Now, when you post something, you get rid of something, and then you come back because we've run into this with the podcast, right? Where we're not responsive enough, and then people get pissed off. We've actually lost listeners when they've reached out to us. We didn't know that they'd reached out to us, and then they're like, "These assholes big leagued me,"
Yeah.
and they didn't respond. And we check it maybe once a week,
Yeah.
but for 7 days, that person festered
Their
and
butt
got
hurt.
pissed off. And then by the end of the week, you look at the comments and it's like, "Hey, buddy, I love." It's like that song "Stan" by Eminem. Like it's like, "Hey, buddy, hey, buddy," and then like at the
Yeah.
end, Eminem's like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
We've had that happen where someone
The
reaches
negative
out.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
you
they're
run these things.
Yeah, and they start running it in their mind because we didn't respond.
They saw it.
And
They're
then it's
ignoring me. They're assholes.
And then it's a week later, you see all the other comments like, "You fucker."
Yeah.
You just you're too good for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just over here watching the kids and working. And
Well,
doing
I
my life.
deleted. I re-downloaded Instagram today.
Did you
and
have comments like,
I
"Where
had
are
like
you?"
someone was like, "You're terrible at responding on here."
Isn't that horrible?
And-
It's not that you
And
didn't
I'm
want
like,
to be there,
No, I'm just
You didn't
not
wanna
doing this
respond.
right now.
I've got other things going on.
but people don't necessarily.
But
see
it
that.
also, I started feeling that I was wound up.
But I saw you do it. I saw you looking, and then I saw you start to get anxious, and then you went,
I'm
"Nah,
done.
this isn't for me."
Yeah.
And you deleted it, and so that's why I asked that, because I wonder if some of that anxiety was coming from this outside influence.
100, yeah, because you get jealous. Like I have friends who are doing a lot of big things.
Yeah, sure.
And you get jealous.
Sure.
And that's
that,
not
like,
a Taylor Carson thing. That's all of us.
No, but that's
and whether or
that's
not you want
humanity.
to admit it, we all have a problem with it. And I
Yeah.
think if we all recognized it and focus on your inner circle, start with your family, move out to your
we
community,
need to
your
get
schools,
back to that.
not worry about what this political person's doing. It's not going to affect your life in the grand scheme of things.
It
Focus
all means
inward.
nothing.
Yeah,
What means something is your daughter sleeping in the other room and your wife sleeping next to you.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to find a way to ask a question for one right now, and I'm trying to find the right way to do it. But do you?
Just social media stuff? Or?
Yeah, in the social media space.
Yeah. I mean, then
people
there's
get-
Facebook and stuff. And I have this thing, like, deleting apps, like deleting Twitter, deleting Instagram, just off of my phone. They exist.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I
you don't
also,
close your account. You just remove your ability to
and
check
then you
it.
just don't.
That way, you make it
Yeah,
hard to
then
get
you have
onto.
to go through
Yeah,
a
yeah.
step. You have to unlock a certain door to get there. But like I have Facebook, and like I find it bothersome sometime, and then so I'll see things on Facebook, and I'm just like whatever, and I go through and I dig what people are up to, and then but I have this fun game. It's maybe not fun for everyone, but it's fun for my daughter and I. Like where we'll go through, and I'll be like, you click on this blue button or whatever color it is.
Yeah.
Like
So you let her play with your phone.
I let her play with, sometimes with like kids, YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if I'm on Facebook, I'll be like, oh, do you want to do this? And then she goes through, and I let her. I don't know, I don't want to say you're unfriending. Like this person's no longer my friend, but I let her just click on whoever she does, like a button.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who she's clicked on.
Yeah.
And that person on Facebook is no longer my friend.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, 'cause
There's
this
it's
is
not
literally a
malicious.
conversation.
You know what's
for
funny?
one.
I do that once a year. I'll go through and be
Just
like,
clean it out.
I haven't seen this person in 20
My
years.
brother-in-law does that.
And I will unfriend 50 people at a time, 100 people, and then
Cleanse.
inevitably throughout the next year, I get they refriend me, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? I don't see you in real life.
Yeah.
Look, I wish nothing but good things for you, but we're not friends.
It's like
I
I,
just
didn't
know-
know it was your birthday.
We
Yeah.
have a friend who was upset that he was unfriended,
Okay.
and I'm questioning if this was just your daughter
That's if they were unfriended by me.
Yes.
They were unfriended by my 5-year-old daughter, who I let play this weird, malicious game, who apparently it has an effect. Like, I have no...
But then it sends ripples through a social media world.
Which is... Social media is stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah, you shouldn't care about that.
No. I don't mean to hurt anyone.
If someone unfriends me on social media...
You know the funny thing?
I'm not
hurt. Do you even know?
I would never even know.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't know.
I don't mess around on social media.
Yeah.
I literally put up a podcast once a week, and I rarely put out our podcast because I just set it out on the Inside the Pallet House page.
Yeah.
Well, I never go and like search someone's name and be like, what are they up to?
Yeah.
If I know them well enough, I'm gonna call and be like, what's going on?
I'm gonna call, text.
But I'll scroll through and I'll see shit, and then generally I end up buying a shirt from some weird place in China, and then I'm on their mailing list somehow.
Yeah.
Dude, shirts from China are so small.
And
what
thin
the fuck? Oh
and
my
itchy.
God. I've got this Capital shirt that...
The one you're wearing?
No, this one's fantastic because it actually fits. This is an American shirt.
Yeah.
But I bought this one from China. It was this beautiful Capital shirt, and I was like, what a deal. And I ordered this thing. Oh my God. There's the guy who owns Under Armour is like, that's tight. Like, it is the tightest shirt I've ever seen. I can only wear it as a long sleeve undershirt now, like when I'm snowboarding.
My
and
mom,
then I take it off, and there's just all this gut hanging out. It's horrible.
My mom bought me, and both my sons matching Hawaiian bathing suits from China, and we get them, and they fit like boxer briefs.
Yeah.
And my boys swim. They're on the swim team, so they're used to the jammers, so they like them.
Oh, so they're like, hey, these are perfect.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm not wearing these to the pool.
I would enjoy it though if you did.
So, but I did wear them one time to the pool when we had an adult pool party. I told someone, they're like, you won't wear those. I was like, to the adult pool party, I'll wear the hell out of those things.
Hell yeah, I wear the dong sarong like it's going out of style. Like, that's my jam.
It's not appropriate when kids are around.
No, I don't wear the dong sarong around
My
children.
daughter would be like, I could see your penis.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, you can't say that.
Oh, yeah.
From the
So
mouths
many
of
jokes,
babes.
but I'm going to let it be because your daughter's 5.
Yeah, she's the only one.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I can't really.
She's the only one who's been able to find it apparently.
Can't make jokes here. I gotta just keep it in.
Can I? Do you want to try the? Oh, you guys are
Yeah,
on real.
no, we can try the other beer.
I desperately want to try the other beer because
I'm thirsty.
at the end of that Heineken, I actually started thinking I was going to move my vote down because I started getting a sweetness, and I think that's why it was 16 carbs. I think they have to replace a lot of it with
these are
sweetness.
great. I've had these before.
All right, so this is the Klosthaler.
See, generally German non-alcoholic beer, great.
I wonder why that is. So this is the
they're
Klosthaler
porn.
dry hopped. And I got the dry hopped because there was 2 styles of Klosthaler. There was the original and then there was the dry hopped. And I thought, well, this should probably have more flavor.
It looks nice too.
Yeah, I'm hoping. It said it was a new design.
Oh, that's quite a cool bottle opener.
Looks like a real beer. It's in a bottle.
Yeah, and it says dry hopped right across the top.
I like that bottle opener.
Thank you. All right, I'm excited to
It
try
looks
this.
like a capo.
Open mine then.
All right.
Klosthaler brewed in Germany with Cascade hops, unfiltered too, which I also thought was cool because unfiltered means it's going to have a little more going on in there.
This says malt beverage too, so I'm guessing all the non-alcoholics are malt beverage because
This literally has no smell. Like I was expecting a hoppiness because of the dry hop. I smell.
Cheers.
Nothing.
This is more carbs than the last one.
Shit.
That means it's gonna taste better.
89 calories, 20 grams of carbs, 0 fat. So
What the fuck is
It's
that?
all about carbs and added sugar. That's where.
yeah,
It's just like when they make things low fat. They just fill it with sugar.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. All right. this
Calories. People worry about calories. Generally,
calories don't mean a
doesn't
lot.
matter. It's all about sugar. Carbs are sugar. Added sugar. Natural sugar is fine
Fat's
That's what we
fine.
tell ourselves.
for now. See, that's better.
That's interesting, though. There's something
That tastes
going
like a
on there.
darker beer.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It says it's darker. You can kind of see it through the
Is that
bottle.
Ovi?
Yeah, you just gotta.
Dude, how skinny he stayed in shape. He got in really good shape.
Yeah,
this
because he
summer.
got to spend a summer not just facing drinks every minute of every day.
What a shot!
That dude partied harder than any man I've ever seen after they
The
won
summer
the
of
cup.
Ovi. Look at him, dude. He looks like he's
great,
18.
man.
Really, the grade 8. He's great.
I love that.
We're
guy.
watching
best.
Game 1 of the NHL season. Caps versus Blues.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, the Caps will already have 7 wins under their belt.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Comes out because this is going to come out in a
next
week and a day.
Yeah. Now,
this is a lot of flavor going on.
There's a lot going on in this beer. The Klostaller.
It is quite hoppy.
It is, but I expected
it's malty too.
I expected more though.
Monday Night Football is the Browns,
Maybe
Niners, huh?
That's the one. That'll be over too.
I should put my money down on that right now, potentially.
Yeah, so that's one addiction that has crept back in. Huh?
Oh yeah,
that's one. Replace one for the other.
Yeah, that's the worst one right now.
Like to gamble, huh?
I do.
Me too. That's why I never do it.
I like to gamble. I'm just so bad at it that after time, I just kept getting kicked in.
I'm in a pretty big hole right now, and then the other night,
dude, stop
I was
fucking
putting
with that
Arlie
tattoo.
Mae to bed, and I couldn't. I was going all in to try and get back. And a large amount, and
you're like, I do not like green eggs and ham, green eggs and ham.
And that, yeah, and the bet, didn't get it in on time. And I was gonna go all in on the Steelers.
Would you have lost?
I would have crushed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would have made a bunch of money.
Oh, that sucks.
I've become the failing king of parlays this year. Last Saturday, I went on a college football 9-game parlay. I put $50 down. I would have won over 18 grand.
You know
I hit the first 8 games.
Yeah, that sounds like every parlay story anyone
The
ever
ninth
tells.
game. That ninth game, 1 point.
Oh,
that's brutal.
Somewhere Scott
That's all right,
Van Pelt's laughing.
because when it's all said and done, it was only $50.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the parlay.
Yeah.
It's such a rush.
Bet
So
a
I
little?
figured the money that I just put back in to try and get back to even, I'm just going to do parlays.
I lost all my money in one bet last year. It was brilliant.
Well, I told Julie after week 1 of the NFL, I'm like, I'm done gambling for the entire season.
How you doing with that?
I've lost more money.
Yeah, there was a few years back where I had a bookie, and he was my old barber, and I had to run everything. Like I was the one who had to give him the money and collect the money because I was in there all the time.
Yeah.
And so people were like always calling me up and going, "Hey, I want to do this." And how it would work
Were you taking
every
juice?
Tuesday. No, I wasn't. Every Tuesday, I would hand him my hundreds of dollars, and then he would hand me back more hundreds of dollars, and I would give them all back to the other people. And I was like, I'm the only loser. And this happened
That's why
all
you need
year
to start
long.
taking a cut.
No, that's when I just stopped.
So
I just woke up one day and I said, this isn't working. Like I'm no good at
And
this.
it's in your face because you're seeing everyone
Yeah,
else.
I'm
make
having
the
to go.
money.
Here's your $100. Here's your $200. And I'm over there like, and here's your $500.
And you
Fuck me.
know
I
half
actually-
of that, and then you know piece of that money you're giving back is money you lost.
Yeah.
So you're
I didn't have the money to be doing it. That was the problem. Is I was literally looking at it like, okay, Monday night, if I'm going to make that car payment, we got to get this back. And then it wasn't
That's a
happening.
tough
So then
problem.
it's like, the wife's like, you want to go out to dinner? And I'm like, nah,
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Hey,
Well,
last week.
Kraft mac and cheese
I'll
again?
I'll make the mac and cheese for us tonight. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'd rather just go out to dinner.
So last year, I had a bookie. I won a lot of money from him. I took a lot of money from him. It was the last week of the NFL season. He disappeared.
Oh, no.
Dude exists in the world and owes me $1,500. Obviously, that $1,500 is gone. So,
Same story with my old barber.
So this,
He owes people money.
yeah.
And the worst thing is I paid him out, and then he was like, I'll get your money tomorrow. And then literally he disappeared from the barbershop. And all my buddies are like, where's my money? And I was like, I don't know. I gave him the money I owed.
I have you to blame for where I'm now gambling online. And something interesting is that they also have online blackjack.
Which is the worst because
Which
then you
seems
just
so
sit there
fake.
and decide. Yeah. I mean, think about that. They're
I should put
controlling it.
$100 chip on this one hand.
It's horrible.
Yeah, they can just. It's
they just
fixed. It's just an algorithm.
But for some reason you go, it seems legit.
Well,
you know it's not.
like this one, like a couple of hands the other night, I was nailing all these hands for the first time in like ages, and I was like, all right. And I tapped out, but then I lost a game, and I was like, I could probably make that back. And then I'm in more
the hook.
of a
The hook. Gambling's and now it's going to be legal. It's coming. It's coming everywhere.
Talk about evil. Ruining people's lives. Yeah.
It's coming everywhere, man. That sports gambling is going to be all over, and to the point that you can start betting in real time. Be like, next play is going to be a running play. Like, you're going to be able to bet on stupid shit like that. You can do that.
Yeah, prop bets. You can do that online.
The problem is that's, money's what fixes a lot of problems for a lot of people, so it's the go-to.
But it hurts people more
well,
than
gambling's one of those things. It's a reason Vegas looks the way it does. They win.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, there's no water in the desert, yet the Bellagio's got beautiful fountains.
Yeah.
That's all that water comes in from New York. You can make pizza.
The bread there is amazing.
It's so good. So good. They just built a pipe directly to New York.
They can afford it.
They could. And they could do it
just
off of my back.
Hey, I don't know how much time we have, but you just got back from your annual golf trip.
Yes.
Do you have any stories?
Oh, boy. I'm sure I have tons.
Oh, boy.
Can you repeat any of them? How was it? Did you win?
My team lost.
Okay.
Which came down to the last day, though. And what I didn't, unbeknownst to me, it had come down to like the last 2 holes. Everyone else was done. I was the last grouping.
Oh, no.
And so everyone's like sitting around the greens, like all the pressure's on. And my buddy and I felt the pressure. And so it was captain's choice, and we decided to take a ball that was in the sand trap instead of the one that was on the fairway because it was right next to the hole.
Yeah.
And we'd been hitting him out of the sand trap all day like clockwork.
Yeah.
So we were like, screw it, man. All these guys are watching. Like, let's show them what we're doing. We shit the bed, and we ended up losing the thing by literally 1 hole. The whole team event, like over 2 days, came down to literally 1 hole.
What kind of golfer are you?
Poor.
Okay.
I'm a horrible golfer.
They do it though pretty smart. They pick teams and they handicap, so it's always down to the wire. It seems like.
Yeah, because the teams are close.
They're matched
like
up
with the
properly,
handicaps, the teams are always very close. And it's a lot of like team play. It was a ton of fun, but damn, dude, I was heartbroken when it all fell apart.
It was in Myrtle, right?
Yeah.
How was that drive home?
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous. And then every night at the end of it, we always go to this place, Cactus Jack's. It's like the Pallet House South. It really is. It's just like it's this lady
hole in the wall.
It's this lady Mitzi who sits there in this.
Oh yeah, I saw some video of there. It literally looked like the Pallet House.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. And so Ely's always like, it's my favorite bar in the world. Like, I love it here. And I'm like, well, what's number 2? And but we go in there, and there was this guy, right? This like creepy dude, and he's like hanging around us, and he's got like wife beater on with stains all over it, and, like long hair, and he's just getting hammered in there, but he's really kind of a degenerate, you can tell.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is one of 2 bars I'm allowed in all of Myrtle Beach. And I'm like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad. And I'm like, so what do you do? And he's like, I'm a fiddler at the old Alabama Theater. So, like, every night he goes and plays the fiddle with, like, one of these big shows that all the tourists come in and watch. And I'm, like, looking at this guy like, you can't be a fiddler. Like, not very talented here, but he's got his ukulele in the
I saw that guy in one of the videos.
And he actually was pretty talented, right? Like, I'm like,
he just busted out and like plays for people just unannounced, or?
Well, he was playing for people, but like he'd be like, give me $1, I'll play you any song you want. And then I'd like request a song, and he's like, you don't get to request the song. I'll just play what I want. And then I'd be like, that didn't go well. But then he did start playing like songs I knew. So I'm sitting there at the bar like he's my human jukebox. It was down to like 3 of us, and every time we bought a shot, he'd have a shot, and I'd hand him $1, and he just kept playing. It was a very interesting night, to say the least. But we shut the place down because
that was Saturday night.
Yeah, apparently he's the guy who like helps clean up in the bar at the end of the night.
He's got a lot of gigs.
Yeah, so they like turned off the open sign, and we sat in there, and everyone started smoking cigarettes and drinking, and it was all right. Dude, you're taking all that off now, huh?
Yeah, I should.
So you're just going to bring the tattoo out, isn't it?
Yeah,
it looks.
It's sweating is what's happening.
But it looks
Yeah,
bloody.
I need to clean it.
Paper towels over there. We never did grade this beer.
Look at that.
Do we need to get back to it? Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that looks like raw meat.
Yeah, but like
It's all
I'll
sweat.
wipe it off. Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, what do you think of this beer?
I think it's good.
So what are you going to give that,
I'll
Taylor?
give it a 4.
A 4.
A 4.
Wow, so that's officially in the DELI territory.
Yeah.
Troy, what do you think of this beer?
Well,
Trash is over here.
if I gave, would I get 2.5, 3 the last one? No, 3. 3.5, somewhere around there.
Yep.
This is better than that. So I got to go 3.5, 4 in the DELI range. It's more flavorful. Probably wouldn't know it's not a non-alcoholic beer just by tasting it. It's got that much flavor in it.
It
So-
does have a boatload of flavor. And you
Yeah.
were right. The strange thing about this is it is malty and it's got hops.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. This is not going to make any sense. I'm about to give a stew review.
All right.
This doesn't make any sense. This is officially a stew review. I would say that it's got some hoppiness to it. It's got some good flavor to it. I still taste that sweetness of whatever they're doing
Yeah.
in non-alcoholic beers to make them that way.
Uh-huh.
And I would give this a 3.5, right?
Yeah.
So it's better than the Heineken, but I'd prefer to drink the Heineken. I know that that's a total stew.
Yeah, that
it's
is
a total
stew.
stew.
I'm glad you could do that for Stu,
Yeah.
being that he's not here.
Exactly. The numbers don't add up,
No. But I get it.
but I'd rather drink the Heineken, but this is a better beer.
Yeah.
It's the same way when we were doing the light beer taste, and I was
Yeah.
like, I like all the flavor in the Bud Light. Miller Lite's the better beer.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. This has more flavor. I think it's a better example of a beer. I prefer the Heineken. Weird.
I understand that.
So yeah,
It's gonna be sick when it settles in.
are we
Dude,
going to be
that
able to
looks
take?
great.
Are we going to be able to take a picture of that tonight for the podcast cover?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it actually looks really good right now. It doesn't look that angry at all.
But yeah, it'll.
No, it's
it'll pop.
a
Yeah, yeah,
gorgeous, it's a gorgeous tattoo, man, and it'll be a constant reminder of the album.
All sorts
you-
of color in there.
you
Can you see
never
all
made.
the color in there?
No, I cannot.
No, it's on a record.
I know. I said it's the record you were never going to make, though.
Oh yeah.
You told us you weren't making a record, and then you came back a year later, and you had a record. That happens. But nowadays, you're mostly writing music. I mean, that seems
Yeah.
to be your MO. Dude, you got a bloody shirt, man.
No, that's just ink.
Cool.
That'll never come off.
So now you're writing every day, though. You're doing your thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
just,
this is
it's more of a studying writing. Just trying to become a better writer for future opportunities. I'm just.
But
I'm
there's still
treating
money
it
to
like
be
a
made
job.
in that, right?
Yeah. I just gotta, I gotta get better at this thing that is my job since I'm not playing as much.
Yeah, because now you're not making that touring money.
No, I'm just
now you're-
touring money.
Now you're chasing for that. Now, you're chasing
I'm doing.
the
I do
mailbox
more
money.
private events.
Okay, private events.
And then, I'm writing to get better at my craft so that hopefully I can get involved with bigger projects that won't have me touring.
That makes sense. So this would be like things that actually get, like you write a song for something and then it gets picked up and then goes from there kind of
For
thing.
like a Subaru commercial or something like that.
Yeah. So
Or like a TV show.
you told us last time you were on that there was like, you were doing some things where like someone would show up and say, I want something that sounds poppy but has a harder edge and we're doing it for this. And then like a bunch of people will write music for it from all over and then
Yeah,
send
it's
it
like
in. You hope it
put
gets
in
picked
a
up.
bid
Yeah,
for,
it's like you
know,
put in
for
a bid.
normal job, yeah.
So that's wild. So that you do that all the time.
That's what. Yeah, if you get with the right people, that's what the goal is to be a
To
part
get
of
to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the end game, and then once you get to that end game, and then it's like, all right, how do I turn this into now that I'm in that world?
So here's my question. Say there's a Subaru commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, okay, we're looking for something that sounds like Jack Johnson and Motley Crue. And you're like, what does that even sound like? And then you put together something, right? And
Yeah,
you like the
try
song.
and make sense
now
of it.
you send it off to them. Do you own it still, or do they now own it because you sent it to them?
Oh, is
Your
that
phone just
me?
started playing music.
Oh,
like-
she does well.
Like how does that work? If you send it off because you were
It'll
writing-
be a split.
so they
because-
own half of it essentially.
Yeah, and it's like 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing type thing.
But at least this way, the song you're writing has a very distinct end game. Like
Mhm.
this is the purpose that it was. But then when you send it out into the world, It's half gone.
Yeah, but then it's like, okay, whose voice is that on that?
Ooh, we like him. We need him for
how
our
do we
Toyota commercial.
Yeah, I want to use that voice. I have an idea another place we could use that guy's voice. Or then someone.
So it's like a resume.
It
I'm ends up
building an audio resume, and that's why I'm I'm studying song. It's like I'm going to college for songwriting, but
how many songs have you written in the last year? I know some of this year was touring, so
yeah, a little bit, probably like over 50.
That's wild, and
a lot of them are shit, but like you got to get the shit out of the way to find something good. You got to get that stuff. If it's not good, you got to get it out of your brain. You got to write that song if you're going to make room for a good one.
So that's how you look at it. The faucet's going to run. You got to just get to that part of the faucet that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild. I mean, you really are treating it like a job, man.
Now I am, yeah. Before I was like, little things would happen. I'd be like, oh, I'm golden. Like if this Counting Crows thing happened 10 years ago, I'd be like, I'm set.
You would have hung your hat on that, like, got it.
Yeah, like
but
I'm about to blow up.
So it's a different grind.
Now I know what it is. Now I understand what the game is.
Yeah, but you seem happy.
But I love it because I'm learning. Like that's the thing. Like now I'm able to learn.
So right now, though, those songs that you send off, you never go, I'm not sending that one, and keep it. So you're not working towards an album.
I'm not like, nah, I'm going to hold on. No. Zero interest in doing that.
You think you might?
No.
Mark it. So I'm going to say.
No, my heart is no longer in making I'm putting this out. I want to go play this record for people.
All right. So there's a guy that's on this podcast all the time, or used to be all the time. Jason Jones. Everyone knows him, Double J. He just released an album. Mm-hmm. He's trying to put it out there, right?
Yeah.
Any advice for how Jason should get an album out there, or what his next steps are? Because he's a true neophyte at this point. He's got an album in his hands. What does he do with it? How does he promote it?
It's on Apple Music and Spotify.
Like, yeah, it exists, but what's your advice?
You gotta hire like good PR people. You gotta put money into getting it out, and have them go and try and find, publications that are interested in writing about it and stuff like that.
So it's really all about promotion.
It's the machine.
It's all about you gotta have money to get into the machine, unless something is just totally undeniable and it blows up on Spotify, And then honestly, labels right away, like if you throw something their way, or it's nearly impossible to get on their radar, but they'll go and see how people are reacting to it, and by that I mean they'll check Spotify numbers.
So they're watching.
You could just click on
streets are watching.
You could be like, well, you only have 1,000 monthly listeners. You go to Ed Sheeran's, he has 100 million monthly listeners.
Yeah.
It's like there's a reason,
Sure. So for him, it's about throwing money to talented people who have the right connections at this stage of the game.
Yes. Well, music's like movies. Like, you see all the money they put into getting it out there, and there's almost a direct correlation between the success of a movie and how much ads they do.
But, something that is tricky that a lot of independent artists don't know, and I didn't know it till this. I would be psyched. I had a record. Let's put it out. Don't put it out until you have everything lined up.
Yeah.
Try and get the buzz going around it, so that when
funny,
you do put it out, then you have a team of people pushing it, not just like to your Facebook, hey, I put out a record, and all your friends and family are gonna go get all about it. My record went out and it was like number 2 on iTunes.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when it's all said and done. That's not a huge. That's not a ton. It's not a ton of sales.
That's crazy to think.
It's not a ton of sales.
Yeah, but you look on iTunes and like Michael Jackson's still there too, because some of these carry on in perpetuity.
Yeah, it was John Prine, Taylor Carson, Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I took a screen grab of that.
I would,
and it felt cool for I was pushing it or number 2, blah blah blah, and that was just an ego thing.
At that point, yeah.
For that day,
as it should be. If our podcast was ever number 2, I'd be through the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. But then then you slowly.
If our podcast is number 200, I'd be.
But for me, there's not in what I'm coming back to, like I addressed earlier. Like for my records, there's not longevity in it. You saw it disappear from the charts where John Prine and Brandy Carlisle.
They're still there.
They exist there.
Yeah.
I had the first push, and there was no other buzz around that initial push.
Great opening weekend.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
Whereas the way you're doing it now, you get something that hits, lives
it
on.
leads to, yeah. I mean, if I got something in like a Subaru commercial, like it could also be on like This Is Us or something like that.
Yeah, and then mailbox money.
Yeah, you hope to do well.
And that's my favorite phrase, so I'll repeat it over.
Mailbox money.
I just love hearing that because I hear people
checks
talk
show
about
up and you don't know they're coming.
Yeah.
You go check the mail and you're like, oh, but I say that just knowing that it exists.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who is, I don't expect mailbox money. I hope someday to be like, where is this money?
But that's because you're treating it as a job. I mean,
I'm early in. I have been doing this for 17 years, but I also feel like I'm at the very beginning. But I've got the tools to. I understand. I have a better understanding. I've read the books.
Well, and every year you're adding more tools to the toolbox.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing right
at
now. So I'm conflicted here because I want you to hit the Subaru commercial or the movie or whatever it is you want.
Yeah.
I want that next album. I do. I want both. So I hope that you're wrong and I hope that I'm right, that in 2021 you will drop an album. I'm calling it. And you have to come back on when it drops, and you have to eat crow
and play the entire record acoustically.
Yeah, you got to eat crow. Will you come in here and say I was wrong?
Yeah, but you're not going to be right. You're not going to be right.
If at the end of 2021 you have not put out an album,
then what? You buy me a 6-pack of my favorite non-alcoholic beer.
I'll bring you back on, and I'll say
and
I
make
was
sure
wrong.
my meds are still lined up.
Yeah, you'll come on, and I'll say I was wrong, and I'll eat crow.
I don't care about anyone eating crow.
So that's good news for all the listeners out there, because that means when we quit doing this in 6 months, we will have a reunion show in 2022.
Are you guys bailing?
I don't know. I'm tired.
We talk about it once a year.
Yeah, every once in a while we talk about it, but then here we are like 4+ years in.
Yeah.
If you're a musician, you'd wake up every day and be like, why do I do this?
Well, that's kind of
Mondays.
It's the love of the game.
We're kind of in that boat. We're playing for the love of the game at this point.
But you guys have jobs. Like I don't. This is my job.
But it also makes it harder to do this.
But
if
I didn't have a job, I'd probably push this harder.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd probably do more with it. So I could be more successful with this, but I have a job.
It's bizarre to me that music is my job.
It's
awesome.
not, though. I see so many people who make music their life. What I find interesting is that I see music through this narrow window of artists make an album, they go on tour, and watching you, I've learned that that's not the only way to make
so many
money.
other ways.
That's the beauty. Yeah, because if there was only one way to do it, then a lot more people would be doing it and successfully.
Of course, and every asshole.
And thankfully, I'm not a drummer. Like I'm a songwriter who can go, okay, I got an email on a Tuesday. Can you come play tomorrow night for this private event?
Yeah.
And it's me and an acoustic guitar. Yeah, I can do that. I'll see you then.
And it's your music, it's your stuff.
And then
like,
it's or whatever, anything in the vein of what I do.
Yeah.
Now, so all right, so Father's Day is probably a pretty big deal for you. You always have your Father's Day at home, you know.
Yeah.
Would you ever play a Father's Day show?
I don't care much about Father's Day.
So would you play a Father's Day show?
Yeah.
Cool.
But I would hope that
lining something up.
I'm working on Dadapalooza lineup
for
next
right.
year.
Oh yeah. But then Dadapalooza, Arlie Mae and
they'll come.
Julie could come.
Oh, there's gonna be.
I would hope that what I am playing, generally people would be like, I would throw in, I have a daughter, and they'd be like, I'll bring them, and then I don't care about making it about me on Father's Day type thing.
Troy and I are in talks with the owner of Penny Lane Pub, and we're trying to put on Dadapalooza next year, where we actually want to have like a stage set up outside, have some bands come play, but then bounce houses and various kegs, and like it's gonna be kind of a wild time, but about family, about Father's Day.
Yeah.
And so I want to get like a good band lined up.
Okay, I'm in.
Sweet.
But
Nice.
to go to follow up on that, like, would I play? I see, like, you had an angle there, but like,
I always have an angle.
if someone asked me to play on Arlie Mae's birthday,
No.
not a chance in hell.
Yeah. But see, this would still be a good Father's Day. You'd still get to come and
No,
like.
I would love it.
Okay.
And because of like, because it's you and just the audio dreamboat and
Why do I not have a cool
love it.
nickname? Damn it.
just it would be a good hang.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
sure. That's what we want.
Yeah.
And we want the families to be involved.
Yeah, no, I don't want
And
this
off
to
mic,
be an
I'll tell you guys
isolated
how much
thing.
I'm worth, and then we'll be good.
Oh, you see, that's the next problem right there, right? But we're debating on trying to figure out if we can actually
You're
charge.
like, there'll be a bounty house.
but we're
No, you
hoping
don't wanna
that
charge
we're
anyone.
hoping. Well, we're hoping maybe we can that
A
way.
charity thing, something.
Or just to get the bands there. Like I'll pay for the bounce house for the kids. I don't give a shit. I'll
Oh,
pay
I'll
for
throw
the
in
bands.
money for
Bands
sure.
won't.
But bands
on a
are
father-
expensive.
Bands won't care. I won't care. I wouldn't take money on that.
I'm sure we'll get you some money.
I don't, but
We'll
I
figure it
would
out.
not feel good. Like, I legitimately will not take money from you on that gig. I'll be happy to be a part of it, but
Okay,
yeah.
you're. I'm willing to be proven wrong. Okay, you've argued. You have sold me
Yeah,
on
I'm
this free
good.
gig.
I'm fine. I don't want to.
No, we'll discuss that, but it's something I'm working on, and it's going to take a while because I've tried to put this together last year and it failed.
We
but I
waited
think this
long.
year, but I think this year between Troy and I and Terrence over at Penny Lane, I think we have the right crew, and maybe we could even bring, listeners could come out and go to Datapalooza. Bring their
That'd be
kids.
awesome,
because
yeah.
it's a big field we have access to. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
So cool.
Datapalooza.
I always love cornering people when they're on mic.
I'm sure that you should look. I'm sure that's copywritten Datapalooza.
No, Datapalooza trademark. There, locked it up. Locked it up. Well, Taylor, man, I gotta say thank you so much for coming out, man. It's always a blast hanging with you. I'm glad that this worked out, that we were able to get you on air today.
Yeah.
And do a show. It's been far too long. I think this is the third time you've done Inside the Powerhouse.
Yeah.
He was on one of the early episodes.
I remember. Yeah. I think. Yeah. The one. Yep. That one exists. And then there's another
There's another
one
one that's pretty good.
I think if I remember correctly, I had to pee. I was drinking tea, and I think I peed a lot during that one.
Yeah, I think you were in and out.
And then I peed only before we came on here.
We were smart. We're all learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all getting better at
Look
our
at
craft.
us just yep. We're
all-
studying.
we're all getting better at our craft. No, but I really do appreciate you coming
Of course,
out. And I
I
know
appreciate you
and,
having me.
and thanks again, man. Honestly, the intro has been awesome for us. We like having
Waiting
it.
on that mailbox money.
Yeah.
So you'll get your mailbox money the day I get paid.
Yeah, the day we make
The
$1.
day we get paid, Jason.
What happened to that shade thing that you guys are working? That sunglass.
Nectar Sunglasses
Nectar
is still a
Sunglasses.
sponsor.
Okay.
So if you drop ITPH in the coupon code over at nectarsunglasses.com, you get 30% off of any sunglasses they have. Troy was actually wearing a pair when he got here. and
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
I had
those
another
look
pair
good.
over there.
Yeah.
They make great glasses, and for the price, they can't be beat. But to get 30% off,
These are the bigger
They
ones
look
for
like
my big
perfect
head.
Golf glasses.
Yeah. They're all polarized too, which is really nice.
Oh, I dig that.
yeah.
yeah, dude, Nectar makes a mean sunglass.
And
man.
these
Those
glasses
great.
are
They're
40.
sturdy.
These glasses are $45 before the coupon code, the 30% off. So I mean, it's cheap.
I'm such like a Ray-Ban snob, unfortunately.
Well, we were too for a while, but then I kept stepping on them,
Yep,
sitting on
losing
them.
They'd be
them.
great for my wife. Like we have like she just got this thing at our front door where you can hang your keys, and then it has like this little rope where you hang your sunglasses.
Oh, that's
and she has
cool.
like
Perfect.
5 shitty pair of sunglasses, shitty pair, shitty Perry. And then I've got one, my Ray-Bans, and I've had them for years.
Yeah, so you can hold on to glasses. I lose glasses, so I
That's
probably
because
have.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessive.
But I got 20 pairs of Nectars, and,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like I will change them with my outfits.
I'm psyched to leave with a pair then. Do I
Actually,
put
I
a
could
coupon
probably
code
I
in
could
your
probably arrange for that actually, because there are plenty of them.
I give them out as gifts a lot because they're so affordable, and people are like, "Oh, sweet man, new shades."
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be over. I could keep going.
Well,
Well, we're gonna
here-
sit around and talk all night.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I still got 2 periods of hockey to watch.
Well, I don't want
here.
to talk to you guys unless we're behind mics.
Oh, I get that. I get that. You can just keep the headphones on the rest of the night. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, Taylor.
I'll write
Very
my
good.
next record that I'm gonna release.
There
That's
you go.
right. 2021.
Yeah.
Lock it up. I know what I'm doing over here. I know how you roll.
Yeah.
You've done it before.
He'll be down getting a tattoo of the new record cover.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You got the rest of that arm, man.
That's right.
Yeah, we talked about
Filling
what
it
to
in.
do. Yeah.
And I'm definitely taking a picture of that thing.
It'll
for the
look so
episode.
much.
It looks great now. It really does. I can't believe it was done
I
just
can't
a
wait
few
till it
hours early.
pops.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, what if people want to reach out to you? Do you have a way that they can do that? Or
Yeah, the best way I would say is to just email me directly because I'm not the best at social media.
But where
we
should they
covered
follow
that.
you? Like, what's your
My Instagram is at
music one? I'm sure
At
you
I-
like
Yeah,
to.
ITPH
It's,
podcast?
it's Taylor Carson _TAC. My Facebook is Taylor Carson Music. My Twitter is at Taylor Carson. But if you really want to have like a legit back and forth, email me taylor@taylorcarson.com.
Perfect, man.
And it's TAYLORCARSON, not no
That's
funky.
the one.
No,
No funky
as it should
spellings.
be.
Yeah, not a K in there. Not,
No. like Ken Carson.
Yeah, there you
Same
go.
way you spell Ken Carson.
Thank you so much for coming out, man. We appreciate it. Everyone out there listening, don't forget to review us, rank us, help
Sure.
us out, and share it with your buddies, man. They need to know what you're laughing about. Tighten up. Spread the word. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?